Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Ainaa. I'm the Head of Research at Razak School of Government, a leadership institution under the Public Service Department of Malaysia. And today I will be sharing briefly about the progression of digital transformation happening here in Malaysia. And I will be also highlighting a few challenges related to it and also on the importance of everyone to start embracing and applying leadership skills for the country to successfully implement the digital transformation in the country. So basically, in general, when we talk about leadership, most of the people will still associate it with the people that are heading a team or heading an organization. While basically a leader can also be defined as an individual who actually take charge and do something to achieve something for the benefit of themselves and also the people surrounding them. So basically, we need more people to act like a leader for the digital transformation to successfully happen in the country. When we talk about digital transformation or digitalization itself, it is actually not something new for the country because basically we have benefited from it even from the launch of MSC or Multimodal Super Corridor back in 1996. And in 2019, when the government launched Shared Prosperity Vision 2030 as the umbrella policy for the country, digital economy as well has been identified as one of the key economic growth activities that are able to push Malaysia to achieve high income nation, high tech nation, and eventually decent standard of living for all Malaysians by 2030. In 2020, digital economy actually has contributed about 19.1% to our GDP. This is actually 7.1% higher than the previous year. And it is actually believed that the sudden increase was actually due to the pandemic. And when we increase digital adoption and digital transformation due to the pandemic, it is actually quite unsustainable. So basically, when before the pandemic, when our country are still clustered as a low-tech nation, even though we are actually not, even though our household is actually connected to the internet of about 90.1%, it is actually due to the low adoption of digitalization by our public service as well as by our businesses. And this is when basically the government has launched Malaysian Digital Economy Blueprint or My Digital for us to have a basic, for us to have a strong baseline in actually implementing digital transformation here in Malaysia. Under the Malaysian or the Digital Economy Blueprint or My Digital, the government actually has addressed on how to move forward and also the targets for us to achieve by addressing a few crucial parts of digital transformation in the country, which is first, the digital transformation of the public service in Malaysia. Second, infrastructures, and also the talent pool for us to move forward with digital transformation, as well as on how we could actually survive in security threat related to digital adoptions along the way. So basically, by 2025, our country targeted for the digital economy to sustainably supply for us in terms of income and also talents, and for us to achieve GDP target, which is about 22.6% for the economy. And if we look at the digital adoption that has happening in our public policy, even though the pandemic has boosted a lot of activities related to digital economy and digital transformation in the country, our public service actually has started to adopt a lot of activities related to ICTs and also internet improvement. And this is actually led by Mampu. So basically, our countries from the past few years has managed to improve our ranking related to digitalization. And actually, when our country launched My Digital, our public service as well actually has boosted up and also moved much more aggressive because they now have a strong baseline on how and where to move forward in 2025. So basically, they also have launched their own strategic planning, which I believe to be in line with what the stakeholders, including the public, want for the country to achieve in our public policy. by 2025. So actually, if you want to understand or probably know further on the activities that will be kickstart, and as well as that already been kickstart by the government or public service in Malaysia, you can actually visit Mampu's website and everything are actually listed there. So if you look at the enterprises as well, it is believed that pandemic has actually boosted the adoption of our enterprises in adopting digitalization as well. Actually, if we compare before the COVID, during COVID-19 as well as now in the new norm, basically it has improved a lot in comparison to before the pandemic. So we can see from the chart here. Basically, a study has been conducted by a group of researchers by University Malaysia Terengganu on this. And we have identified that the improvement, although it is actually happening in all the main four sectors of economic in Malaysia, which is service, retail, manufacturing, and tourism, the pace of it are actually still very weak. This is also happening in the public service as well. So a few challenges actually has been identified on what's actually happening and become a stumbling block for us to fully able to adopt digital transformation in the country. And this is actually a study based on McKinsey, and it is actually listed that it is not only issues related to technology or technical things, issues like a skill gap, culture differences, brain drain, diminishing teamwork spirits, mentality, and attitude as well is something that need to be addressed for us to be able to achieve digital transformation fully as planned. So basically, if we look at the list that we have here from World Economic Forum in their report, they are basically 10 top skills that ourselves, the employee and also the employer need to adopt by 2025. And if you look at the list, only two of it is actually a technology skills that actually required to be adopted, and others is actually soft skills. So this is where basically it is highlighting that it is important for everyone to also embracing on soft skills, especially leadership skills as well, for us to successfully transforming our country in any situation in the future, including in terms of digitalization. So even in leading a team as well, a leader actually require a skills more than the technical skills, or more than a knowledge related to the technology, because basically they would need to be able to have soft skill, including leadership skills, for them to be able to empower the team and drive the movement of the changes later on for the organization. In other challenges actually happening due to digital transformation is actually in terms of engagement. This is actually based on the studies by Gallup and also Achiever. Basically, if we look at the changes that we are facing due to the digital transformation, everyone are actually a little bit laid back in the house, and most of them are actually have issues to engage with the employers. And this is actually hopefully is not permanent, but there's actually a lot of things that needs to be done. Intervention need to be done by the employer, and also in action for the employee as well to also start engaging the employer and also their head, for them to also continuously contributing to the country. And if you look at Malaysia, in Malaysia case study, Malaysia actually in terms of productivity due to the engagement and so on, actually already is already weaker than any other neighboring countries that we have now. So basically, when our digital adoptions happen quite slow in comparison to other countries, is also actually increasing the productivity gap that we are facing now at this moment. So basically, if people can embrace leadership skills along the way with the technical skills that we need for us to transform the country, it is gonna be a huge step where basically it will push the organization further to successfully embracing digitalization and benefited from it later on. So at RSOG, from our engagement with our scholars, leaders of industries, academicians, as well as public service leaders, basically we already identified 5 main competency, leadership competencies that need to be mastered by everyone. Either you are just a junior staff or still looking for a job, or people who leading an organization and a team. So these 5 leadership competencies basically are required to be implemented to meet different type of needs. But basically, if you manage to master these 5, the ability for you to actually use the right skill at the right and in approaching different challenges would actually be the benefits for you in making sure that everyone are actually empowered to work together to achieve certain targets, certain common goals. And from being a doer, like I mentioned to you earlier, because basically when you are a leader, it doesn't matter whether you lead yourself or you leading organization and also a team. It is very important for you to take action. And also the best is actually for you to lead with heart and mind and act towards it. So for in conclusion, basically, I would suggest basically for the digital transformation to successfully happen, we need to actually empower ourselves as well as our team to have to be trained and also to obtain group coaching related to leadership, not only focusing on just technical skill. And in Malaysia, basically, if you are in public service, you can actually obtain technical leadership training from an organization like RSOG, Intan, as well as ACAP. And if you're just an individual or working for the public sectors, actually there's a lot of leadership skills training as well as coaching series are offered. You can actually visit HRDF for free courses, and even Perkesu are actually also offering a few type of trainings by different type of service provider. So please look into this thing. Basically, don't just invest in the technology, in infrastructures and so on, because it is also important for you to invest in leadership as well as other soft skill for us to successfully transforming our country in becoming a digitalized country for the future. So I believe that's all from me. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for listening. Stay safe and take care. Assalamualaikum.